A new exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum of Art revisits Raphael, an artist often seen as too perfect, too beautiful, too easy. Maybe that's the problem. The exhibition offers a chance to look again. Hi everyone, I'm Jane Reeves. Welcome back. I just returned from New York, home to me, and this time there was a good reason. The exhibition Raphael Sublime Poetry has brought together over 200 works. Most of them are by Raphael, including 33 paintings. The exhibition has been 8 years in planning. Preparing for this review, I was surprised by how often Raphael is dismissed. In the 19th century, critics like John Ruskin, and he was quite a character, were openly skeptical. He once wrote this of Raphael: "The only thing clearly manifest to me in his compositions was that everybody seemed to be pointing at everybody else, and that nobody, to my notion, was worth pointing at." Harsh. I grew up thinking of Raphael as an equal to Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo Buonarroti. To understand Raphael, you have to go back to Urbino, where he was born in 1483, a small Renaissance hill town. I visited his home there, now a museum, a modest space with fragments of his early world. Here's the original die grinder, and even an early work attributed to Raphael, fresco of a Madonna and Child. His father was an artist, not the greatest, but good enough to work at the court of the Duke of Urbino, Federico da Montefeltro. He was a condottiero, but he loved arts and surrounded himself with the leading artists and poets of the time. That's why Urbino was not the worst place to grow up. And from there, his path led through Umbria to Perugia, where he studied with Pietro Vannucci, better known as Perugino. Then he went to Florence, where he was influenced by Leonardo and Michelangelo. He absorbed what he saw quickly and made it his own. There are several Raphael paintings in the Uffizi. Then he was off to Rome, where he worked for 2 popes and died relatively young at 37. Raphael was constantly learning and improving, and that's what shaped his style, characterized by order, harmony, and balance. And that sense of structure and balance is exactly what you see at the Met. The exhibition is built around 3 octagonal rooms with cupola ceilings that look like chapels. It took 3 years for design manager Daniel Kershaw to finish them, and visually, their architecture echoes Raphael's sense of perspective and symmetry. In an effort to attract younger audiences, curator Carmen Bambach calls Raphael an influencer. I'm not sure that Raphael needs that comparison, but the show is popular. The rooms are packed, and at times it feels almost claustrophobic. When you think of Raphael, you probably think of Madonnas and cherubic babies. There are several here. The Alba Madonna is what they put outside on the poster. It's a circular composition, or tondo, that was especially popular at the time. Madonna of the Candelabra, Madonna of the Pinks. And look how similar the composition is to the Benoit Madonna by Leonardo. I feel like I need to share this description of the painting by American art historian Bernard Berenson in 1912. And by the way, he is a distant relative of Marisa Berenson. A young woman with bald forehead and puffed cheeks, a toothless smile, blear eyes, and a furrowed throat. The uncanny, anile apparition plays with a child who looks like a hollow mask fixed on inflated body and limbs. But I digress. Raphael was a quick study. Once he saw something new and interesting, he immediately adapted it in his works. There is a great sketch from Ashmolean Museum in Oxford, Faces and Hands of the Two Apostles, a preparatory work for the Transfiguration, which is too large to travel, unfortunately. And that brings me to the next room. This is a remarkable group of portraits. A young woman with a unicorn. This is not how it always looked. Before restoration in the 1930s, it was Saint Catherine with the signature spiked veil and a shawl around her shoulders. The painting changed quite a bit over time. But that is not all. An X-ray revealed that originally the animal was a small dog drawn by Raphael but not finished. Most likely his pupil Giulio Romano painted the unicorn. La Muta. Though there is no verifiable justification to call her mute, the city is often identified as a member of the Urbino court. Look at her pinky. It's slightly crooked. Such a touching detail. Right across, portrait of Baldassarre Castiglione, a friend from Urbino. Castiglione was a diplomat and maybe even a spy. He penned the Book of the Courtier, a guide to ideal behavior of a real nobleman. And look at his ensemble. That sense of restraint is visible here. Elegant, understated, graceful. La Fornarina, one of Raphael's most discussed works. Supposedly, she was a poor baker's daughter, hence the name, and his favorite mistress. And yes, Raphael had a reputation of a ladies' man. According to Giorgio Vasari, the father of art historians, Raphael's cause of death was exhaustion from extreme lovemaking. But if you compare it to La Velata, which is not here, whose sitter most likely was Margherita Luzzi, his mistress, they are similar, but probably not the same person. I must say, the bracelet on her arm bugs me a bit. It's so possessive to write your name on your lover's jewelry. Across all these works, you can see Leonardo's influence, three-quarter turn, the hands placement. By the way, the first one, we see the columns on both sides, and that is how Leonardo first painted Mona Lisa. Later they were cut off. And finally, there is also a portrait of a very handsome young man. It's Vito Altoviti, a papal banker, probably not to his own younger self. Look at his hair, sideburns, so sensual. The exhibition also includes 3 enormous tapestries from Spain. They belong to King Philip II. The original tapestries were commissioned by Pope Leo X for the Sistine Chapel and made by the best weavers in Flanders. These are second edition tapestries made from the original cartoons by Raphael. By the way, Raphael drew the cartoons in real size. They are almost never moved, so the condition is excellent. The colors are so bright. Lastly, there is a room with three-quarter projections of Raphael's frescoes from the Vatican, the so-called stanze rooms. They were originally created for the papal apartments in the Vatican for the previous Pope, Julius II. The exhibition isn't without its challenges. There are many drawings. At times it feels more academic than visual. And the projected frescoes from the papal apartments are too washed out and move a bit too fast to fully take in the details. My personal pet peeve is the catalog. It's a huge 300-page essay by Bambach. Not really a catalog, I don't know. This is a rare exhibition. It's on view through the end of June and it won't travel elsewhere in the United States. If you have a chance, go and see it. Keep getting inspired. I'm Jane Greaves. See you soon.